You're listening to Great Love Media.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to The Great Love Debate, the world's #1 dating and relationship podcast since 2015. And I know you just had me on the podcast for the last episode, just me. You just had me, just me. And I hate to drop too many solo pods, and I certainly hate to do 2 shows in a row, but I got asked to present a talk on confidence and communication to Amazon corporate, sort of the corporate world at Amazon. And while some of that is proprietary to them, I wanted to share the gist of it with you guys. And you might be thinking, why did Amazon ask you to do this? You talk to employees about dating? And no, it's not really about dating. I'm not only interested in dating, and I'm not sure I'm even that interested in dating. I'm more interested in the dynamic between men and women and the passionate conversations that can be derived from that. Anyway, about 8 months ago, 12 months ago, back when we used to do live shows, one of the Amazon head honchos came to a Great Love Debate show at the Parlor Comedy Club in Bellevue, Washington, which is right outside Seattle. And I guess she thought, this is funny, but there's a point to it. And the point is that this is really all about confidence and communication. And the dating and relationship stuff is just a conduit for the passionate conversation that we have, which surrounds all of that. Well, that was very perceptive and very wise by that exec, because it's true. And we have preached that to death around here. We have said that over and over and over for 5+ years. Almost every show we do is on some degree about confidence and communication. And most of them are about that to a great degree, because most or all of what we deal with here and what most or all of us deal with in life comes down to those 2 things, confidence and communication. And you can mix and match and tweak and morph all of these messages and the root of them and the branches from them, and they're all related. We often get the criticism around here that our shows are a bit too, what's the quote, heteronormative, or a bit too cis, CIS, or too white, or too straight, or too moneyed, or whatever accusatory adjectives get tossed our way. And some of those are accurate, and I touched on that earlier in the year. Some of those really are accurate, but you speak to what you know, and this is what I know. But we have done every possible version of our live Great Love Debate show. We have done LGBT shows, and black shows, and Jewish shows, and college shows, and Asian shows, and married shows, and Christian shows, and senior shows, and we even did a Persian show, talk about niche, in Los Angeles way back when. So we have sliced it up to every niche and demographic you could want, and we have tried to include every possible group under the big GLD tent, but in the interest of time, you can't cover everyone and everything in a 90-minute live comedy show, but we have tried to target all the interests at one time or another, or many times or another. And if you printed out the transcripts to all of them, or you listen to the audio from another room, the through lines are always confidence and communication. And that is the thing that everybody has in common in every circumstance, is that the more you have of confidence and the better you are of communication, just the better things are going to go from you. Every scenario, every instance, every date, all of it is going to go better. So, you can say, oh, this particular Great Love Debate show isn't about me, or it doesn't pertain to my situation, but you would be missing out because you would be missing the point. And we are producing a series of podcasts for kids now. Go to podkids.com, PODKIDZ, podkids.com for details. And I was asked, but you don't have kids. How can you know? And I thought, because podcasting is about confidence and communication, and I do understand the importance of that in all situations and all ages, and I know that I lacked those things as a kid, and if I can recognize and teach the importance of that to 10-year-olds podcasting or Amazon employees or frustrated daters, then I think we can make a difference around here. So do I want to get too Tony Robbins on you or too Joel Osteen on you? I do not. Do I stand by the fact that I am an entertainer who is in show business first and foremost? I do. But you can be smart and funny and a little snarky, and it still resonates, and it can move the needle. It's what we refer to as the broccoli in the brownie around here. It's always about confidently communicating and communicating confidently. And if that is done, anything is possible. Love, joy, happiness, wealth, promotions, experiences, engagements, life, all of it. And so to give you a little bit of personal recipe on how the messaging sausage gets made and how to get your point across in a relatable fashion, again, whether it's in a meeting or on a date, well, a recipe is essentially a secret formula. Do this, this, and this, and you will get this, this, and that. You remember the formula for a dating profile that we've given you, 3, 2, 1, remember that? Every dating profile should contain 3 things you want them to find out about you, 2 things you hope to find in them, and 1 thing you hope to find together. It is a formula to confidently communicate what you know, what you seek, and what you hope. It's clean, it's simple, and it will be successful. Same with what you look for in a mate. Stop looking for all these mismatched characteristics or crafting this unicorn in your wish lab. You know, you make this checklist of arbitrary qualities that don't quite match up in the partner that you seek. You want, like, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and you end up with a camel. What is a camel? The old line, a camel is a horse designed by a committee. Same thing. And we have pounded this message to death into you guys over the last 6 years. Ladies, you want a man who makes you feel special, and you want a man who makes you feel sexy, and you want a man who makes you feel safe, and everything else is just a subset of or tangential to one of those 3 things. So don't get bogged down in the subsets. Stick to the main feelings and emotion. 3 things. That's it. And guys, remember, you also have 3 things. You want a woman who makes you feel admired, respected, and those are synonyms. Those are not 2 separate things. That's 1. You want a woman who makes you feel appreciated, and you want a woman who makes you feel needed. And if you confidently know that and can communicate it in a way that the other person can understand, then you are way down the road to getting what you want. So let's get into the communicating a bit and back to the Amazon talk, because it does relate to love, dating, and relationships. When you go to make a presentation or lay out a case or deliver a pitch or close a sale, it is also about simplicity. It needs to be in a way and with a goal that everybody involved can understand. The recipient can understand it, and you can understand it. Keiko, who produces this podcast, she believes that everything comes down to one basic question. What is the problem, and how can I solve it? Maybe that's 2 questions, but it's 1 sentence. It's 1 question mark. If there's 1 question mark, I'm going to say it's just 1. What is the problem, and how can I solve it? And that is really, really smart. That's her philosophy. I like it. I agree with it. It cuts right to the core of the matter. There's no wasted fluff. There's no wasted words. It goes right to the middle of the Tootsie Roll Pop, and I love that. You start sort of with the plane on the ground and then pull back and show how it got there or how it can get there. But I'm a little bit more verbose than that, and then she is. So my approach has 7. Every talk, every pitch, every presentation, every first date conversation should essentially contain 7 elements. Okay? 7 elements. It should have 4 things that your audience already knows, and 3 things that they didn't know or never thought about before. 7 general pieces of information. If you give them 7 things they don't know, they feel too lost in it and will tune out too quickly. If you give them 7 things they already know, they think, I already know this. Why am I listening to you? Is that all there is? So it's about ratio. If you give them 4 things they know and 3 things they don't know, not only does that increase their interest and engagement, but by having 57%, which is 4 out of 7, be things that resonate and have familiarity, you are simultaneously increasing their confidence. They think, hey, I think that too. I know that. That's the way I look at it. And then you add in the 3 things they didn't know, and voila, there's your recipe for engagement. It lets you deliver content confidently, communicated. Things they know, things they don't know in that ratio. And that could be your very first conversation with somebody, or that could be, trying to sell a car. Same thing. If you've ever been to a concert, remember what a concert was? Remember we used to go in large groups of people and there'd be music playing on a stage? Remember that? We went to these things called concerts, and you go in and you want to hear all the songs you know. And you can say that you don't, but you do. You want to hear the songs you know. But the artist always wants to play a few that you don't know. And if those new ones are fresh and delivered confidently, you can absolutely enjoy them just as much as the greatest hits. When they say, we're going to try out a song we've been working on and we're not sure how it's going to go, but we want to play for you guys, you think, fuck that. You're going to use those 4 minutes to go to the bathroom or to go get a beer. It's tune-out time. You're not interested. But if the band says, listen, we couldn't wait to play this one for you guys. You're going to love it, and we wanted you to be the first to hear it because you are our greatest fans and you deserve it. Well, now that song is not just for you. It is essentially about you and with you. So bring it on, Motley Crue. Sing it, Coldplay, or whoever rocks your world, You feel engaged with them because of the way they phrased it. We produce a podcast called From the Bachelor to the Burbs, and it has our friend Jen Sheft on it. You've heard her on here before. She was the season 3 winner of The Bachelor, and she was also the Bachelorette. And her podcast is really, really good, and it even has a bit of me on there sometimes because I produce it. But that's not why it's fantastic. It's fantastic because it actually follows that formula. On nearly every episode, she flashes back or focuses on 3 things her fans and audience know or remember about her time on the show. So she goes a bit deeper, but there's still touch points that get a reaction of familiarity. And then she sprinkles in 3 things about which the listeners had no idea, didn't know about her and her life. And that formula works for a podcast. It works if you were a friend of hers too. It would work in a conversation. And it would work if you were having a drink with her or me or anyone. That works. So you're like, are you telling this, are you telling us how to give a corporate talk or how to sell stuff? No. I'm telling you how to talk and communicate effectively and confidently. You're on a first date, okay? Or you're celebrating your first anniversary. You're sharing a bit of info that they already know. Maybe you mentioned it on your first phone call, or maybe you wrote it in your dating profile, but you're also presenting them with 3 dynamite new nuggets that they had no idea about. Yes, I know you were Miss America and have 3 kids and were born in Iowa and have run 4 marathons. I know that already because you shared it before we went out, which is good. And mentioning it again is good because now I don't feel like I'm sitting across from a stranger with a total blank slate. Oh yeah, Miss America, the runner. Got it. It's a friendly reminder, especially in a world where you may have been juggling a dozen dating prospects. And so you're like, so who is this again? So give me the 4 pieces of information on this date that they probably already knew, and give it to them as a refresher. So some of the outlines are then filled in for me, and I can see how things are shaped for you, with you, and the 2 of us, okay? I have a general framework to work with that familiarity. But now, then you color things in with 3 new things. Oh, you were a baton twirler in high school? Maybe that was your talent as Miss America. You were a champion baton twirler. Oh, and you're afraid of monkeys, and you have broken 2 fingers and a pinky toe. 4 old things, 3 new things, and you confidently communicate them. And watch at how the reaction is from your partner when you do that.